Hey, hello, hello. Long time no see. It's Bill T here from Paint Minis Live. Good to see you. Good to see you. Long time no see, indeed. So, what are we doing tonight? Let's see here. I'm just gonna check the audio levels here. Gonna make sure everything's working for the show. Should be able to hear me all right. Hopefully, we'll see some folks in here. But yeah, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Lots happened since last time. I think I did the I'm Alive stream. Getting towards the end of school now, so that's like super fun. Tonight we got prime time. If you haven't seen the show before, prime time is where we go ahead and we prime our models for painting in an upcoming session. Laz, the legend from Lazy Mini Painting. If you haven't seen Lazy Mini Painting, go and check Laz out. He's a hoot to listen to, and just a overall nice guy. Absolutely great painter too. I like watching his show every now and then. I can catch it when the time overlaps. But we got 4 live chat lounge cats in the studio tonight. Thanks for being here, everybody. So I thought, it might be a good time. And go ahead while we're doing this. I have a new setup. The mixer board is behind me actually, but I've got a new setup kind of going here because this isn't my usual studio. Let me know if the audio is too loud or too quiet for you. Apparently, I come with a warning. That's right. We've got the last special adult warning on the. I think I still have that somewhere, Laz. That's great. Um, but tonight we're going to be doing some priming of our models. So it's not like the most glamorous thing, but tomorrow, Sunday, or excuse me, Monday, is basically going to be an all-day painting session, and we've got a special guest coming. She's my niece, and she recently has gotten way into, well, not recently. She's been into D&D for like a little while now, and she's been collecting models that she thinks are like really cool. And so I've got like a whole bunch of models. I'll show you more, but like, you've got a whole bunch of models here that she's collected, and she wants to learn how to paint. And so we're going to try and paint through as many as we can and do a we're going to try and do a beginner crash course in like one day. And it's going to be from like, I don't know, probably maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning till basically as long as I got her. I'm going to try and impart as much painting knowledge as I possibly can into her noggin. And her name's M. She's great. I can't wait to share that with you. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to post it. We just kind of nailed down the times within the last day or two here for that. But it's if you have never painted before and you want to learn how to paint, we're going to start here. This is like the first step. And then tomorrow we're going to go through all of the techniques and colors and fun stuff like that. And we're just going to have ourselves a great time. So I'd recommend hitting up both of these streams. And yeah, the first thing you're going to want to do is prime your models. You need something for that paint to stick to because it doesn't really like sticking to plastic. I haven't really seen a paint that comes as a paint and primer when it comes to mini painting. So we got to use primer. This is my go-to of choice, Monument Hobbies. Let's see if you can maybe focus on that. Their camera. Let's see. No, it wants my face. There we go. So Monument Hobbies primer. This is dark neutral gray. Kind of my go-to. I'm not sure if she's going to want some of these to be creepy, kooky looking, or if she wants them to be very whimsical and like bright colored. So gray is a great place to start if you don't know where you're going to go next and you haven't quite figured that part out. Because you can get to white quickly with like an airbrush or even heck just a regular brush. You can get to white pretty quickly going from gray to white. Or if you want to, tone it down a little bit, going from gray to black too is pretty easy. So neutral gray is usually kind of where I start. It's a happy medium. I'm going to get some tunes going here while I'm thinking about it. And we can go ahead and get stuff going. Let's see here. Did I do it right? Is it coming through? Let's see. Oh, it should be. Something should be playing at least. Alright. I had this working just a minute ago. Ain't that the fun part? No? Good lord, friends. Good lord. Let's see. Did I maybe bump something? I might have. I might have. Oh, I muted it. Oh, oh. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna turn that down. Let me know if that's too loud. I'm not sure if it is or isn't. Okay. We'll throw that on in the background. Cool, cool. We're gonna go ahead here. I'm going to go ahead and walk you through some of the stuff that I do for priming. Namely, the first thing is to kind of get something on, like, under the Mini. I know there's a lot of people that have, you know, the fancy, like, gripper things where you, like, put the model on it and, like, grips it. I have many examples of things that you could use as an alternative. If you don't have those, or you can't afford them, or whatever. I don't personally use them because I just find stuff laying around that you can do this technique with anyways. I didn't have one. I didn't have any corks or whatever to put the models on tonight. So I'm just going to use some hot glue. There's plenty of brands out there that you can pick for hot glue. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit more, actually. I'm not sure what it sounds like on your end, but that's a little loud for me. Yeah, that seems a little bit better. There we go. Okay. So, one of the things you can use and stick your model on, you know, because let's just say I've got this this night guy here, right? And, you know, if I hold him with my glove and I'm going to spray him with an airbrush to get him prime, which is what I'm going to do tonight, you know, you can't really get the total base because you got your, you know, your fingers on there. So, one thing you can do is use like a pill bottle and just stick it on there with some hot glue, and now you can manipulate your model around the entirety of the object. And I don't use a ton of hot glue, just a tiny little dab will do you, because you want to get the model off, and especially some of them that are in flimsy poses and stuff. You may even need to take like a hobby knife to that and kind of like pry it off. So another thing you can do is take a pop can, or in this case I like drinking tea a lot, like iced tea and stuff. So I got a can of iced tea here. You can use this part right here. You can hot glue your model right to that. It's super easy, works the same, and plus it's really big for your hands. So if you're somebody that's got like a reduced grip or something like that, this might be a better option for you just because it's bigger. It's bigger, easy to handle. Now if you happen to have a nicotine addiction, which I do, these little pouch boxes, you can use these too. Basically anything that's flat. Flat has a decent amount of surface area to it, and something you can grip onto other than the model is like, have your way for it. I think it was Mr. Bill Sylvie over at the Dungeon Delver recommended using a orange juice jug cap, you know, like Tropicana or whatever, like using one of those green caps, and that worked out pretty well too. I thought that was a great little mechanism to do that. So I don't have extra cameras in here, so we're gonna, you know, have to move the camera around to kind of get to our workspace. But we're gonna go ahead and do that now. So if you're a little motion sick, I apologize. Just working with what I have on hand. So let me go ahead and spin you around here. Make sure that everything is set over here. Oh. Hi. Okay. I'm actually in the living room for this, so... Oh, okay, there we go. Hello, arm. Okay, and now you can kind of... Again, sorry if you're motion sick, just working with what I got. I got one good camera, and that's all. So, we're doing that. And I'm going to try and capture it all for you here. Okay, there we are. There we are. That ought to hold itself. Nope, you're not gonna cooperate with me. There we go. I'm kind of on one of those squishy tripods with the weird legs. It's just what was around. There we are. Okay, cool. Cool, cool. All right, so we've got our trinkets and items here that we're going to glue these guys to. There's a decent amount of models here, so I tried to grab just a whole bunch of stuff. I'll probably end up priming a few of them and then transferring them once they're just dry to the touch. I think that's kind of the play to go with here. I've got my hot goo gun, and I've got over here working on just a tiny, well, it's not a tiny table, it's a dining room table, but I'm kind of confined. I had to put some paper down. I didn't want to get any gubbins on the good wood, so to speak. So this was the one that she was like super interested in. It's like Santa Claus, like a D&D Santa Claus kind of thing going on with a frost staff. I thought that was kind of cool. Wolf brother, what's going on, Mythos? Good to see ya, good to see ya. Not sure why, but not all of my comments are coming through. Have you censored me again? No, I don't think so. I mean, there might be... Restream's got a filter on it. I'm not sure, and I know that that might not come through on the screen. I have yet to figure out a good system for that. So, sorry, Laz, if you're being maybe a little bit censored there. Alright, so again, just a little dab on the pop can. And I'm not even going to press that much. I'm just going to let the weight of the model do the work because I want to get this off, you know. I just need that hot glue on there to make sure it sticks on my pop can. So after that cools, I'll be able to rotate it and do all the fun stuff that I need to with it. I've also done it too, where if you've got a big enough model, you can stick pieces of the model on the side of the can using the hot glue, which, in my opinion, is a really cool strat. We've got your ye old nasty goblin here. I feel like this is one that you just we're gonna throw in there and prime right off the bat because every story needs a good nasty goblin. In my opinion, anyways. What's been up with everybody out there in the hobby world? You know, what you been up to? Tell me all about it. I'm excited to hear from you guys about what's been going on in your neck of the woods. Gonna get you on there. So again, just not too much pressure on that guy. Just gonna let him sit right on that little dab. Good, good. Here we got some pill bottles here. Let's find somebody. I feel like there's some of these that are maybe a bit better with this. You can also take the cap. If you wanted to, too. I've done this too. Just take the cap off. I might end up doing that and just using the cap as its own stand for the mini before we prime it, and using the other half because I have a ton of models here and not enough pieces to put them on. So I think that's the play. That's the play, folks. I'm gonna get a little dab of goo on there, some hot goo. Very nice. Just a little dab will do you. And we'll let our knight sit on there. Talk about a kind of a cool sculpt there. I don't know where she got these from, but they look really cool. I'm super excited to teach family how to paint, man. That is got me going real good. We got Master Yugoi here, I think, from the Kung Fu Panda series. It looks like he's rocking it out. Either that or it's like Leonardo, Donatello, one of those guys in particular. What else do we got? I want to kind of present to her a range of models. So we've got one that's kind of in armor. We've got a goblin. We've got D&D Santa Claus, which is kind of cool. I think this guy right here, he's holding a torch. Kind of got this barbarian theme going on. Let's see if I can get... There we are. But he's holding this torch. This sculpt is super cool. Maybe I could teach her a little quick OSL on there. Tonka Todd the Legend. How's it going, Todd? Hope you've been well. I've been meaning to come check in on you and see what you've been up to, too. Still working on D&D Diorama and Eldar Triceratops Fire Prism. Very cool. You always have some sick out there ideas there, Laz. I'm excited to see what you do with that, as always. Okay, so there's another one in the bag. Mostly work and some wolf painting. I've seen you. You've been on the grind. I've seen you pop up in my feed from time to time, streaming with the mini paint or the mini painter's brush. Is that what it is? I think your kind of co-host that you've been with for a little bit here. Let's see, what else would be another, like, we're gonna do them all anyways, so forget about it. This one's kind of some kind of skull monster deal with some like spikes and things. Maybe we could do a little dry brushing tutorial on somebody in here. That would be nice. Yeah, that'll do it. Just give a little dab of goo on here. Again, not a lot of goo, just a little goo. Enough goo to make it stick, and we're off to the races. I think that'll be good enough. If it falls off, it falls off. It'll be fine. We have like a mage over here, another OSL candidate. I'm just gonna, once again, a little dab of goo on there. And we're just gonna stick our, get that out of there. But yeah, just stick your little mini right on top, and then you got something to handle it with. Super easy. The miniatures paintbrush, very nice. Very nice. Thanks for the reminder, Mythos. A lot of cool friends in the chat tonight. Thanks again for being here, guys and gals and friends. And it's been far too long since I've done this. Man, like gonna be 4 months at school, basically. 4 months without painting. I think it's partially, at this point, this is keeping me sane. Gotta get my paint time in, you know? Gotta get my paint time in. Who else is gonna be like a prime candidate? Got like a rat here. Can't go wrong with a little bit of a rat in your story, your D&D story. Little low-level creature to help build your party. Kind of cool sculpts though. They're all 3D prints. I'm not sure where. She gets them from like a magazine, I believe, or something like that. That's a that does a mini of the month deal that you get with it. I think that's what I remember her saying about it. But they're actually pretty poppin' sculpts. This knight here looks like a prime target for just some beginner edge highlighting. So we're gonna throw him in there too. We'll see how many of these we can get through tonight. Okay, so step 2 here, now that we have as many minis as we have objects to stick them on, is to go ahead and get our spray booth going. Since I'm indoors and I don't wear like a respirator or mask or anything like that, I use a spray booth to take care of all the fumes and stuff. Just it's acrylic. It isn't really gonna hurt you as long as you shoot it through a filter. You'd be fine. So I've got my spray booth here, and I need to go and plug it in because I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough plug-in sockets for everything here on my extendo, my little power brick. So I'm just gonna unplug the hot glue gun for now. Cool beans. Stick that giant brick in there, and nice. Cool. It's been cold up here. It's been really cold. Has it been cold where you guys are at? It's cold. It's cold. It's cold and it's snowy. Do you need some more beer cans for painting? Road March is asking. Hey, if you want to donate to the cause, you're more than welcome to. I currently have myself some hoops brew from here in Duluth, and it's peach pear wheat. It's really good. So we may have another stand. Another thing I've done is like literally use the caps of these bottles, or like the whole bottle themselves. If you've got, you know, other things, it just a flat lid like this works great for something to hold on to for your mini. I've got plenty. Nice road march. Not as cold as you, dude. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Okay. So, let me get this going here. And, once again, you know, just see, if you get a little motion sick, I gotta move the camera again, so sorry about that. Oh boy. That was the thing I didn't want to have happen. Just happen. Alright. Let's see if we can get it to kick over. Oh, there we go. Let there be light. Alright. Cool. What's going on? What's howling? I think it's probably the spray booth, to be honest. I've tried to push it as far back from the mic as I can, but you might get a little extra going on in there. Is there... you shouldn't be getting any from that mic. It should just be this one that's picking it up. Yeah. Anywho, we're gonna keep trudging on here. I've got my premium Chinesium airbrush here. This is just, you know, you can get these on Spray Gunner for pretty cheap. It's like 30 bucks or whatever. For those of you that are in here and have seen me prime stuff time and time again, you know, I'm just kind of going over it for anybody that might be stumbling across this a little bit later on. So with primer, just like any paint, make sure you shake and shake and shake. Especially primer, it's going to be more viscous. We're going to add a little bit of flow improver to the mix. And we're going to add, I don't know if we're going to add a lot of thinner to this. We're going to be working here for a minute, so. The compressor. Oh, I've got the compressor. Like, that one's fine. It's like hanging out on the carpet, so it should be good. It's just the spray booth, I think. I only drink from bottles. Yeet. You got the class act there. Road march. Unfortunately, there's no way to like filter out that sound. I wish I could. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this in frame here. So for this, I usually tend to start with some flow improver. You know, just I like Vallejo. It's, you know, pre-mixed, easy to use. I'll pay for the convenience of, you know, not having to make it myself. Nice, Les. I got that joke. So I'm gonna start with just a few drops of flow improver, probably about 6 for this. It's just enough to kind of get the needle lubed a little bit. You need a little needle lube. And then I'll go ahead and add my. Come to think of it, did I grab a sponge? I usually use a sponge for this because it's just easier. I need to grab a sponge. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Okay, alright, I found it. So I tend to use a makeup sponge just for pinching the needle part on the airbrush. There's some people that don't do that stuff. and they just like raw dog it with their finger. I am not about to do that after getting stuck with, having a needle stuck in your finger. I mean, there is a cap on here, but it's just a little bit easier, I find. Let's maybe move the camera over a little bit. Okay, cool. So I got my little sponge here, and I'll cover the needle. So we're going to make up a whole bunch of this. We've got a ton of models to do. I think we could probably do with a decent amount of primer going on in here. I'm going to add... You can always mix more up, but I'm going to give myself a generous helping right there. And then I'm going to probably go give us a good old bartender's pour of flow improver to make sure everything does its job. And then we're just going to gumbo this by pulling back the trigger, letting some air through. And okay, good enough. Good enough. Just kind of try and keep it a little tidy there. Alright, so we'll start off with, I don't know, Mr. Cthulhu looks like a good candidate for priming. A little bit of, what did I do? Let's get to the comments. We were talking mini painting or events on last night's date. Very, very nice. Alright. Well, I just realized I picked a wonderful glove for painting in gray. I usually shoot it at my glove, but I guess we're just gonna, I don't know, just put a little primer on the... primer on the paper I put down in front of me here. Looks like we're still maybe a little thick on our mix, so I am going to thin this just a tad. I only need like a couple drops, but, you know, do what you do. Alright, here we go. So, the fun thing with, getting a prime down on the model, you do end up seeing some of the details and such. A little tip junk going on here. It's a little harder to get if you're like me and you decide that you accidentally, put the wrong edge. I didn't leave enough room for myself on this particular placement of the model, but like just make sure you push it a little bit more towards the can like opening, so you can get in there and actually get behind the model too. So just a heads up, monkey see, monkey don't do kind of thing. Learn from my mistake there. How much do you do in training for doing IVs? None. None in this course, just because it's something that, like, Road March is talking about EMT training that I'm going through currently. You can get variances, though. There's places that have variances for EMTs to do IVs and stuff. So that's something that I may run into. And they train you on that, though. They'll train you how to do IVs and show you what they want you to do. The variances are kind of like mods or something to your standard scope of practice. So like I can do ventilations and I can use an AED to try and resuscitate someone, but I can't do IVs. It's like a paramedic level skill. But in some rural places, they don't have a lot of paramedics, so they train their EMTs how to do IVs and such, because Well, they need to. They need to be able to do those skills because the hospital is so far away. So somebody's going to need a life-saving drug. And having an IV prepped by an EMT and then the drug serviced by the paramedic is usually how that kind of stuff goes. So this guy's got a lot of goobly going on, just like all around on the model here. A bit of googly. So I'm just taking my time to make sure I hit all of that so we can paint it later. If it was not wintertime and about a zillion below zero, I would go outside and just rattle can these off because that's super nice. However, living in Minnesota, you end up with not the best conditions to paint models or do rattle can priming with, so I think this guy's looking pretty good. I'm just gonna check, make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, missed under his tentacles. Can't miss under the tentacles. Didn't your mother ever teach you to prime under the tentacles? Wash under your tentacles? Cool. I think this guy's good enough. We got enough on him. Let's take a look at this, like, fire barbarian dude. We had to do it to each other in training for Combat Lifesaver. Yeah, for sure. I can 100% bet that you had to do that. Combat medicine is really cool because it eventually will bleed into civilian stuff. They trained us how to do traction splints on military equipment that was like super lightweight and foldable, and like you could stick it in a bag and you'd always have a traction splint. And I thought that was super cool. So military medicine, y'all. Military medicine. What's going on? Dungeon Minister is in the house. Hey, Father Aaron, just a heads up, I have not forgotten about the project. Not Morgan's Men-at-Arms, but the Shadow Guard project. I haven't. But I did have my niece approach me, and she was like, I want to learn how to paint models, and you do a show about painting models. Can you teach me how to paint models? And I was like, yeah, I can. But I do plan to get back to that project after I'm done with school, which is wrapping up here actually pretty quick. So just a heads up. It's still in the works. By the way, cool update on your studio stuff too. I watched that the other day. It sounds like kind of a little bit of a challenge, but you know, kind of a fun one because you get to do it all yourself and really make it the way you want it to be. Building a table. Oh yeah, that's right. You are building a table. Do you go to like a local shop and game somewhere for like 40K? I don't know if I ever asked you that question. I thought I would suspect that you like go somewhere for sure. Don't forget under the kilt, everyone. Don't forget to prime under the kilt. I still have pieces of flock in here from doing the giant tree dude for Minister. They're kind of blowing everywhere. It's funny. So tomorrow, again, for those of you that weren't here, tomorrow, basically all day, I'm doing a big crash course 101 how to paint minis for noobs with my niece. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. If you can make it, I bet you'd have a lot of fun too. It's just kind of something nice about ushering in the next generation, you know, into something you really like doing. And you might get a kick out of it, so who knows. But yeah, that's going to be happening tomorrow. Probably like 10:30, 11 o'clock Central. We just kind of nailed down the time today, so I'm going to make that official with a stream card on YouTube. But yeah, just something to put on the books if you're interested, especially if you haven't painted before, but I think a lot of the folks in here probably have, currently anyways, just for anybody afterwards. I just am incompetent. No, I don't go to a shop. It's too far away because I don't drive. Have everything at home apart from space. Okay, cool. So you're just doing it for the love of the game, brother. All right, got it. Which is sick. I'm not gonna lie. That's super cool. Oh, you have a lot of like things going on with this shield, apparently. A lot of like overhangs and stuff. By the way, we're currently painting in the living room at my parents' place, so I hope I don't get copyright struck from like cops or HGTV or something. I think that ought to do it. This guy's looking nice. I don't think there's any... Oh, top of your head needs a little extra, bud. Cool. Kind of a cool sculpt. I can't wait to throw some flames on that. Show her how to do some OSL. So maybe you did send them, yeet. Yeah, I think about like half of them are in a state of like half done. There's another like half that hasn't, you know, they haven't really been touched for a bit. I think, I don't think it's going to require too much once I get back on it. It's just a matter of kind of putting in the time to do it, but all of that time has been rescuing mannequins from their impending doom as of late. So you can blame the mannequin kind on their inability to stay alive. What is supposed to do after the kit bashing? Knew I was forgetting something. There you go. Mythos, are you doing the Nova Open this year? Are you gonna try and, you know, get there and put something in? I don't know. You were talking some big talk the other day, and if you are, that would be really cool. I'm just curious if you decided you were gonna do that with Hellchild. I think I remember you guys were placing bets or something. I can't quite remember what was going on, but. Gonna make sure this guy's got all of his spiky greebles covered. I'm gonna get some thinner on this sponge because I'm having some tip dry. Alright, yo, Charles. Thanks for the drive-by hello. Much appreciated. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. But I can totally understand. I am the king of drive-by hellos. So no problem, no problem. I can't wait to catch you soon again. That's a nice clean needle now. Oof, that's rough, Dungeon Minister. That is rough. So just kind of, this guy's got like that Demogorgon thing going on from like Stranger Things. Creepy crawly. It's kind of got a little bit of plastic everywhere, and trying to make sure that all of it's covered is driving me up the wall. It's alright though. We're good. We're gonna do it. Just want to make sure everything's covered. There we go. Alright, good enough. Just these books. I don't think I hit him from this side. There we go. Now we're doing something. It's also done up in a pretty dark resin. Let's check the comments again. Are you going to do the Mind Flare in purple like old school? That'd be awesome. I don't know. It's going to be up to her. You know, these are her minis, so it's going to be whatever she wants to paint them. But I'm going to go through, like I said, basically my whole process with her. Like, she's going to get all the info. So, again, if you want to learn all the stuff I do in one day, this is your stream to catch it, or your chance to catch it. Again, Monday from like 11 to whenever she decides to leave. It's definitely going to be before 5 o'clock, but you're gonna learn everything there. And if you want it for free, I think this is the only one I'm doing where it's going to be a one-shot, sit-down kind of thing for free. At some point in the future here, I do want to like put out some like courses and do legit teaching and like one-on-one stuff, and you could kind of pay for that if you want to. But for now, that's going to be the one-stop shop for, you know, basic mini painting techniques. Maybe a little bit more of the advanced stuff in there. But yeah, it's just whatever she wants to do, you know? It's like, it's her time to shine now. I'm just going to teach her the techniques and stuff to make it all happen. This guy's got like a robe on. This guy reminds me of like a chess piece. So anybody, Scrub Sapiens in the house? Hey, what's going on, Scrub? Good to see you. Good to see you. Anywho, yeah, this guy really reminds me of like a chess piece, and I think it's a super cool pose. I'm not gonna lie, for like an armored knight like this, with a big old shield. So 5 p.m. UK. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time in the U.S. here. I think I have to focus a little bit more on his shield here. I feel like this, like the beer cans require dwarves. If you were gonna like stick them on there to become armatures for a model, a beer can that says dangerously good ales on it screams like it needs a dwarf to be stuck on it. That sounds quite up the alley there. Just gonna give the shield one more little coat here to make sure I got all the nooks and crannies. Sometimes you miss a little bit. Gotta go back. Alright, I think that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and let's bring out Santa Claus. Santa Claus is kind of fun. I'm hoping to get through as many of these as I can tonight, just because I don't think she's gonna be able to prime these herself right off the bat. And I'd like to let her be able to paint at her leisure. Starting... Hellworks is saying I'm starting a new army force myself to cut back on the kit bashing and focus more on the painting. I'll see how well it works. Sounds good. Report back. Tell us how it goes. Or put it on YouTube. Let me watch it. I love watching paint dry. I'm not going to lie. It's like seriously entertaining for me. Just put the finished fig in your Discord when you get a chance. Or are you doing the priming, or are they just going to finish the fig? Oh, so we're gonna try and do all the way to finish, at least on one. That way, she gets the entire entire experience. Can't talk. Had a really long drive today too. That's probably not helping my mental state, but yeah, we're gonna try and take at least one of these all the way to completion, and we'll put pics up on Discord and do a kind of a reveal on stream here too. So just kind of see how that goes. But yeah, we're gonna go all the way to finished product with it. Whichever one we do first is probably gonna be the one that gets finished, because you need a decent amount of time before you can do something like seal it with like matte varnish or something, which is kind of my goal. Man, I got more tip dry going on. That's what's going on. Nice. There we go. Got the little bugger. So a little bit of a splatter fest going on here. Man, it's still happening. This is a pretty dirty prime job, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's not, I'm kind of just doing this quickly here. If I was gonna do, kind of a bit of a lecture on priming, I'll probably go over this a little bit more in detail, but I'm kind of just shooting this as quick as it'll come out of the gun and not really worrying about the mix as much. It's just, got to get it down. Move on to the next guy. Let's see what's up with the chat. I bought some new minis today. It never works. It calls to you. Send them to Bill and get him to paint them. Hey, PML 2.0. I'm telling you, we had a little trouble earlier with PML 1.0 being up. It's back online too. If anybody out there is looking for paints, $12 standard shipping. Everything else is super. Like, all the paints are $4 a bottle. I need to reassess my shipping too at some point here, but if you're looking to pick up some paints, you can head over to pml.com. PML 2.0 is on the horizon, and with that comes a lot of cool stuff. Like, you'll be able to see my calendar that's like linked up directly to my phone. You won't be able to see what I'm doing, but you can see if I'm busy or not. You can schedule things like consultations and such for commission projects. So, and I'll be able to meet you on like Discord or something, and we can talk about your project if you want to hire me out to paint something for you. And I'm hoping to have some specials too, little friends and family discount for the folks that have, been around in the stream and kind of helped support PML just by viewership kind of thing. If you want to send me something, I'll see what I can work in kind of deal. So I'm hoping to do something like that in the future, as just kind of a thank you to the community, and the ability to for people if you do want to get something commission painted. I'm hoping also, I haven't talked to him yet, but I'm hoping to get Kenny Boucher on the show for an interview on commission painting and just kind of putting that out in the world. See if he'll spill us a little bean on his time in the professional painting world. Night Dungeon Minister, take care. Take care. Good to see you. Good to see you. Do you ship to Puerto Rico? We could probably do something. Yeah. Might cost you a little. I could cover partial shipping on that, but Puerto Rico's pretty expensive to ship to. But we could definitely work something out if you're serious and interested. Like, by all means. Heck, if I'm shipping it to Puerto Rico and you're wanting me to paint something that goes all that distance, I may as well just ship it in a box of holding and make you a custom case for that sucker. Okay, Santa's looking mighty fine over here. I think I'm just about done with Santa Claus here. He's looking pretty matte and pretty gray. He's got like a candy cane with like spikes in it. This looks super killer. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're gonna have a really good time painting these. We're gonna have a whole lot of inside jokes, I'm sure, to keep us company. Oh, I didn't shoot the bottom of this. See, you know, when you're spraying with an airbrush, like this staff, if I didn't look underneath it, I forgot to spray some of these little bits. You have to kind of spray it from all angles, so it, like, really doing priming with an airbrush can be a little bit tedious in that way, but you do end up with a very nice layer of primer on there, and it's usually a little bit thinner too, so you get a little bit more of those details hanging out than you do with like a rattle can. But rattle can, come on, it's just super convenient. Like, who doesn't love being able to lay down primer really quick? Gotta run to the store. Catch you in a bit. Hellworks. Hellchild. Hellchild's got some sick conversions, kit bashes and stuff that they've done. If you haven't seen them, bug them about it. It's super cool. Really cool. I'd love to have them over for a talk on kit bashing in the future. I think that would be super fun. I just realized I'm painting out of frame. Every miniature painting streamer's delight is painting out of frame. I tell you what, Mythos can attest. I was gonna say, are there any like channel announcements, you know, or like, you know, stuff you're doing out there on the YouTube world? Is anybody in here? No, Laz was talking about doing some Triceratops stuff with Eldar over on his channel. If you're interested, go check it out. I know the minister's working on doing some DIY, like home improvement stuff to make a new studio for himself. I have to go check in on RPG Grandma too, because I saw a video of hers not that long ago where she was making, well, I think it was a post or whatever, but she made some like killer looking like Tex-Mex food that just made me want to run for plates and find out if I can get me one. There's always something good cooking at over there. RPG Grandma. Let's see, who else? Some other friends of the channel. Thayan from D&D Disabilities put out a very like academic kind of structured history on like medieval what you call it? Medieval Europe and like Vikings and stuff. And if you're wanting to sit down and watch, you know, kind of an explanation, you know, a bit more of a academic side of things, go check them out. Super cool. Maybe it'll add a little something to your game, give you a little bit more historical context to kind of bring in. I was on Shadow and Sons the other day too, just hanging out with those guys. They're wild. They're wild over there. A lot of fun to to be on with Shadow and the gang. Bo Paints Minis is on there too. Gabbing for a bit. Monday 40K, Wednesday 40K magazine, and Thursday D&D. There you go. That's the schedule. That is the schedule. Nice. Okay, you're looking mighty fine. We've got a knight here. Having fun with this. Is there... I'm just going to check this out real quick. I think there's a setting on my camera for, like, tiny things, and I don't think it's on. I don't think it's... So, excuse me for a moment. Let's see. Movie, that's what it is, movie. File format. Blah, blah, blah. A whole bunch of stuff that I don't know. Steady shot. Zoom. Good lord, there's so many settings. Alright, we're just... I don't think we're going to be able to find it quickly. I was hoping it was going to be a, one and done kind of thing. Oh, products. There we go. Okay, cool. There we are. Now this'll, now it'll kind of get rid of a little bit of that blur going on, I hope. It should. All my stuff's in Puerto Rico, maybe Puerto Rico right now, maybe when I get situated and put up some videos on the 40K project in 2026. Cool. Yeah, let me know if there's something I can help with. I'd love to help out. I have a couple of friends too that are looking to get minis on the books. I think one of them wanted to get. He bought like a set of 3D printed minis, and I think it was like 120 something minis for his brother. And sounds like maybe he's gonna send me something. I'm not sure. To work on. Okay, that's gonna bug the crap out of me. There's like, it's got these cufflinks on the bottom, and I'm trying to shoot the paint down in there. There we are. Anybody out there see the new Stranger Things season? Me and Miss PML just like smashed through those real quick. It was I kind of liked it. Thought it was pretty decent for what it is. That reminds me too. I gotta get with Mythos. Once I'm out of school too. We're gonna do a paint and compare. I have that that box of models still. That I was gonna do with him and there was another guy too in there. Forget his name. But we were gonna do a sick paint and compare for Space Marines. And I kind of want to get back on that. It was one of those things that I've never gotten back around to, and I desperately want to. Holy man, that's a tall order there, Laz. Good luck. Good luck. I'll see you when you get your sanity back, okay? I'll see you when you get your sanity back on that one, buddy. The Titus model. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people are fawning over that one. The Titus model, baby. Like, You know, it's funny. They gave him an animation, and it was like, oh, so this is how much money you need to make the company in order to be like finally interred into the lore, regain your status as like the lead honcho guy that you used to be, and then put back into power, so to speak, and like get a model minted and like animations and such. That's the kind of money you got to make this company. God, is that predictable for them or what? I can't imagine if they sent me one of those contracts and they're like, "Hey, do you want to be a GW goober and do the G Dubs painting stuff?" I don't know. I like I don't know. I'd have to really hash that one out, but I hope they've changed their wording, their contracts, because I've heard from some folks that have been presented it that like most of it is just you can't trash talk GW, and it's not like I want to trash talk them, but like I want to give people my honest opinion on stuff if they're coming to check this out. Like there's no way in heck that I can't, if I don't endorse it, I'm gonna say it like right off the bat, especially on like product review and stuff like that. Not my style to lead somebody astray. Which is one of those things too, I got sent. I think it was Cal that sent us the. What? Oh boy, I'd have to go back in the annals and look. I think it was Cal maybe, but sent us a Dungeons and Laser set. And the models are great, but it doesn't come with an actual like instruction book. It's like all instructions that you have to be like next to a computer to do. And I kind of enjoy having a paper manual. I don't know about you guys. Maybe I'm just old school and dumb with technology. You know what? I actually am kind of dumb with technology. I can only make it so far on my own before I gotta Google everything. But I like a paper manual for putting my stuff together. Road March. It's cool how the black primer makes the figure pop so you can see the detail. Yeah, I agree. I've been kind of liking how these guys are turning out. They've got some seriously like sick details on them. Whatever printer is going on that they've got these going out of, it's looking really good. My camera's acting a little wonky, but I think you can make out some of them. So super cool sculpts though. Really cool sculpts. Okay, cool. On to the next one. We have our ratling over here. We got this rat guy. I wouldn't do it. I heard about that contract, and man, it's horrible. Yeah, that's kind of my thought, unless they showed me an updated one that was like, you can be honest, don't trash talk us, but you can have honest feelings about our products. I'd be all over that. Be like, okay, sure, I won't trash you as a company, but if I can make critiques about whatever you got going on, sure. Because for me, that would kind of be the important part. What time are we sitting at? 8 o'clock? Okay, cool. We got plenty of time still to burn. You just slung me a pic on Discord that explains the Titus conundrum. Okay, cool. Thanks there, Laz. I look forward to checking that out in a few here. Need some more thinner on this, I think. on this sponge. I got another tip dry going. I know why. It's because I'm probably pushing a little heavy on the PSI for the airbrush here, but the the compressor is literally on the other side of the room, and I am too lazy to get up and go and deal with that. So I'm just going to deal with the tip dry, and that's how we roll. So what else was I going to talk about? Oh, I saw too. They're over at, I think it's Tabletop Time or something like that. Yeah, Tabletop Time's the name of their channel, I think. I saw them build a, they built Blood Gulch from Halo, the multiplayer, like the original Halo CE multiplayer. They built Blood Gulch for Flashpoint. I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous. Depending on where the world takes me in the next, year or so, because I think I'm probably going to have some time eventually here. I would really like to redo Valhalla from, I think it's called Valhalla, from Halo 3. I really want to do that as a Halo Flashpoint multiplayer map. Not only that, but I'd love to go and tug on Mantic's ear a little bit about if they could put out alternate rule set for Flashpoint that involve measuring instead of grids. Because trying to put a grid on a map like that and do some really wacky custom terrain, it would be really difficult if you have to do it that way. But if you had some alternate measuring system, oh hey, if you built this random thing from Halo and you want to play on it, by all means. But here's a way to do it that doesn't involve grids. That'd be kind of dope. All right, I'm gonna take a second here. We're just gonna take a mini break, and I'm gonna pry off some of the models we first started working on, and then we can go ahead and reattach new minis. Oh, there's one more. There's one more that I didn't see. Rabovsky, hello, welcome. How you doing? Good to see you. Airbrushes aren't supposed to roll. Indeed. Let's see here. There we go. Is there something on the lens? No, it's just the camera being wonky. Who would have thought it would be my luck? Alright, so this guy, we got some kind of I think he's a magician, or not a magician. I offended everybody in here right now. And a bunch of people in the replay calling him a magician. He's a sorcerer, or a wizard, I'm sure. Get it right, Billy. Making a Valhalla tabletop map would be sick. Yes, I agree. It needs to be done. The amount of Halo 3 multiplayer I played on that flippin' map. Oh God. Oh Lord. I think if the amount of Halo that I've played in my life, if I had put that towards being a pilot or something, I would be flying a commercial airliner by now. I'd have that amount of time behind a yoke. Oh, 1 inch equals 1 on the grid square. That kind of makes sense. Yeah. Maybe do your own. Yeah. I should not rely on other people for my own gaming pleasure. I should just be able to write up my own homebrew. I bet they would love that. They're those kind of people. I had a chance to talk with them a little bit, or at least they're one of their sales guys. Once we do have an agreement on the books with Mantic to carry their stuff, but with the current situation the way it is, I have not brought any Mantic stock in or listed on the site as something that I can get for you, but I used to. It just got a little bit too crazy, and I wasn't sure which way the wind was blowing. So in the future, though, I would love to have Mantic back on PML. They have a lot of really cool stuff on there for just gaming in general, too. I really like their, you know, scenery sets. I'd love to pick one of those up and just paint it for funsies. I think that would be super cool. Also, we're definitely painting Space King over here too, by the way. You 40k nerds in here that I'm assuming you might have seen that. But if you haven't, Flash Gets and their Space King series, yeah, I capitulated and I bought one of their vinyl models. So we're going to be painting some Space King up in here. Praise be. Praise be. I don't know what color scheme or Legion or whatever I'm going to go for. I don't know. Maybe I might have to go and kit bash something, because I did... I got like super into that, and I did go on the Reddit, and I was like, they have these sermons that they do, and you can kind of like pretend you're your own chapter master or whatever of your Psycho Warrior Legion, and I was, what was it, Chief? Oh, I don't know. I'd have to go back and find. If I find it, I'll stick it on the Discord. But it was kind of funny. Chief Backblast of the Inferno Legion or something like that. It was all like firefighting themed, which I thought was fun. This guy came out really cool though. I like his little magical flames coming out of his hand. I think he's going to be a lot of fun to paint. This guy in particular. Be positive. Yeah, Scrub knows what's up. It's been such a busy year. I couldn't I couldn't agree more, Mythos. I don't know what's going on in the time-space continuum right now, but whatever's happening, it be doing, and I think a lot of folks are feeling that way. Just really busy all of a sudden. Let me get this needle cap back on the airbrush here, and we can go ahead and get some more models on the primer, or on the priming bench here. Space King, exalt him more. I think Hate Monger would approve that message. Okay, I think we started with Cthulhu guy over here, so we're just gonna dismount him. I'm gonna check with my finger here. Don't use a glove if you're gonna do this. Like, use your actual finger, because you got a little bit of, you can get a little traction on there and actually feel if it's tacky or not. And this guy looks like I put just the right amount of primer on him, so he's good. You can see on my finger, nothing on my finger. That's kind of what you're looking for when you want to dismount this guy, or you know, your model from this here. And like I said, just the tiniest amount of hot glue, because now this is all I have to remove is just that little bit on the bottom, and we're good to go again. If you put a ton down, I mean, you're really only using this to keep the character mini on there long enough for you to prime them. And you can redo this too when you want to go paint them. You can take your primed model and just put a little tiny dab of hot glue on there, and it'll stay. It'll stay. Don't worry, it's all good. So we have that guy off. I think we had our. I'm not sure if it was this guy. I think that guy was a little bit of a later piece too. We had the Goblin, I think. Goblin was next in line. So yeah, just going through and making sure these guys are prim and proper. Hi, Mom. She's over here. What you doing? What you doing? I'm playing with toys. I'm painting models. And then, you know, just take your fingernail, scrape off this. You know, there's some brands out there that are a little bit trickier when it comes to hot glue. You know, there's some brands out there that are a little tougher to get off. This one, I don't know which kind I bought specifically, but this one's a little bit more elastic, so it tends to stick a little bit more to the bottom of the base. But it's nothing like a little scrapey can't handle. You know, it took me all of less than 10 seconds to get all of it off the bottom of this. Try and find one that's a bit more brittle, if you can. Just trial and error that stuff. Hey, there she is. Everybody, there she is. That's the one. Cohen Games. That's the one I've been talking about for like the past hour and 15 minutes. We're teaching her how to paint models tomorrow. You know I am so excited for this. We're currently just getting our first batch of minis. I got your Santa Claus here, by the way. We're getting our first batch of minis off the off of our pop cans that I've used to kind of just get them, have the ability to get all of the mini primed. And yes, I'm so ready for tomorrow. We're gonna have a great time. Trying to get that. There we go. Yeah, most of the time it just comes off super easy. The hot glue. It's cheap. It's easy. That's why I do it. I think we had this guy next. I'm trying to get through as many of these as I can so that you can paint these on your own time, and we'll try and get through what we can tomorrow. Okay, there we go. I think I gotta like go up in here. I dabbed it right in the center of this pill bottle, and it's giving me problems now. My finger isn't long enough to get it up a little bit further. There we go. Come on. Work with me here. Okay. Maybe it's not quite as simple as I make it out to be, but it's a pretty simple process, I promise you. I think I usually don't use the bottom of these, and so lesson learned, just avoid the little bump at the bottom. Okay, there we go. I got it. There we go. There's our guy. Kind of fun. Yeah, for real. I'll behave. It's all right. She talks like a sailor anyways. You don't have to worry there. Lazy mini painting. I gotta throw that one up on the screen. That's good. There we go. Lazy mini painting, everyone. He's here all week. You know it, Laz. You know it. Okay, I think we're down to just our last few here. Well, I'm happy you're here. They're Cohen Games. You'll get to see a little bit on how the priming part of this is done. You'll get to see some of that. I might have to grab a hobby knife for that guy. You're just stuck on there way too well. I usually I use some hot glue and then just put like a little dab. You'll see in a minute. Getting ahead of myself. Oh, there we go. That guy came off pretty easy. Just take the little puck of hot glue off with your fingernail. Okay, there we go. Now it's coming. So where did you get these? Since you're in the chat there, Cohen, where did you get these? Were these from a magazine? I thought I remember you saying these were from like a magazine or something that was sending you these. Because some of these sculpts are pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I like these sculpts. They're cool. What happened to your lube? I mean, the lube was for the airbrush. It's already in there. It's in the color cup. By the way, did you ever figure out your airbrush conundrum there, Laz? Did that video help at all? That I sent you? I hope it did. I hope it did. Oh, grumpy old Slan! What's going on, grumpy old Slan? How you doing? I'm not sure if I've told you yet or not, but I did, the, like, play your own story, the French play your own storybook thing, I thought that was super cool. That was a whole lot of fun to watch. I think you might have seen me there. If you, it was a live stream, I want to say. But it's so good to see you. Good to see you, Slan. Always good to see you. We have a barbarian here on this cap we're gonna remove. Let's see if we can do this clean. Oh, yep. See, there you go. Real easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Monthly dice subscription. I get a free mini and a sticker with each set of dice. Nice. Cool. Cool. Nope. It was cooked. Got it. I am sorry to hear that, my friend. All right. So there's all of our wonderful figures off of their armatures. So we're gonna go ahead and reload. We got more paint to be done. So I'm gonna shut that off. So now you don't have to listen to the whine of that. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the hot glue gun, and I can remount the last of these minis on the armatures, and we can get that done. All right, it's got a weird yellow thing going on here. I wonder, can I just back this up and have it kind of track a little better? Okay, that seems like it's doing something. Doing fine, very busy. Had to cut my videos down to one a week. Yeah, that seems kind of the norm for folks. All editing is its own art. That's kind of tough to do sometimes. All right. So we've got hot glue gun. Just waiting for that to kind of come to temp. It's going to take a minute here, so I might just bring you back to look at my mug real quick. There we go. Double-sided tape sounds like a grand idea there, Laz. I'm not gonna lie. I probably should have done that. I don't have all of the like usual supplies that I have on hand. Like from the creation cave or my usual like paint studio. I don't have all of the stuff up here. I've got most of it. It just by the time because I drove 2.5 hours back up here after the weekend, and by the time that I was up here and was ready to do everything and I had the streaming equipment all set up. I've taken over the dining room table. It's a mess, but by the time everything was set up, I didn't have enough time to like go run to the store and get some other stuff. I thought about just gonna go. I thought about going to the hardware store and picking up just like blue tack or whatever, like poster tack. I was gonna do that, never did. So I have a hot glue gun. I got one stick of hot glue. I guess, you know, just balling on it and gonna make it work. Man, That's pretty good. Peach pear wheat, everyone. Peach pear wheat. What else is going on in the nerd world? What else has been going on in my nerd world? Played a little Satisfactory with some friendos the other day. That's a really fun game if you like Factorio or something like that. Highly recommend it. It's a PC computer game. A lot of fun. What else? What else? If you haven't seen it before, there's a German children's show called Burned das Brat. It's kind of funny. There's a piece of bread who's pretty pessimistic on life, like a burnt loaf of bread. It's pretty funny. I watched a couple episodes, well, in between last time I was streaming or whatever, and I've fallen in love with this piece of bread. It's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. He very much so represents the part of me that's like really pessimistic about current events. And I found that super funny. So if you're into like wonky stuff, go check out Burned das Brat. Super, super cool. You're talking to the king of unprepared streaming. I'm glad I'm not alone. Let's see. The hot glue gun's gradually getting there. Just gonna take a second, clot check, stretch. Yeah. We got 7 people watching. Thanks for being here, everybody. Burn Das Brat. Yep. Thank you, Grumpy Old. Much appreciated. There we go. I forgot to hide that message from earlier. You've been up on the screen for like 20 minutes there, lazy. Yeah, I discovered him. I actually decided to go buy a plushie of Burned as something like in the future when I have once I have my own place that I'm able to like modify and stuff. I'm gonna make Creation Cave 2.0, and in the background is gonna be Burned. I think it's gonna be great. Yeah, I know you were. I remember seeing something about that on the Discord, Road March. Yeah, I hope that's going well for you. Packing and moving is tough. It's tough. It's a slog. You only have to do it hopefully every once in a while, but I'm there with you in spirit. You got this. Keep on the good stuff, and keep working at it. Moving, man. Oh, moving. It's like I kind of dread that stuff. Orker. Cindy Orker. Oh, no, I haven't. I haven't seen that, no. Is this liquid yet? Okay, this is kind of liquid now. Or gooey. We got the goo going. Okay, so I'm gonna move the camera here down to our workspace. There we are. Alright. What is going on here with the, like, focus? Are you having trouble focusing? There we go. I don't know what's going on. Okay. We'll deal with it. Again, just a little dab of hot glue, and then we'll stick our model on there and go hog wild. We got, this guy's kind of fun. We got like a hammerhead shark here. Oh, hold on. Yeah, like a hammerhead shark with a gun. Kind of cool thing. It's got like a starfish on the base. I'm sure it'll pop out a little bit more when we prime him. But let's get back to it, huh? And just a little dab. Literally just a tiny little dab of hot glue is all we all we need for this. I'm going to kind of aim him a little bit more towards the center of the can. Learn my lesson from last time where you can't really reach the back end of the Mini. I should go ahead and make sure that I'm very specific on that front for Laz. I'm just waiting for the puns. Just a little bit. There we go. Kind of Spelljammer Hammerhead, dude. Yeah, kind of what I was thinking. Very in that grain, for sure. Dab, and the Mini. That's it. That's all she wrote on that one. There we go. We got our next little armature. This one, I'm just going to put a little extra hot glue on top of the hot glue that's already there. Just a little boop will do ya. Oh, I don't know exactly how I do that. I'd have to go and research that before I play something live. Like, how to actually do that. I would do it, I trust you, but I just don't know how to do it currently. So, in the future, I probably will know how to do that. Next time you want to send me something. But I currently do not know how. Little dab of glue. And here's our Master Oogway. Very nice. I don't know, he looks like Master Oogway. He's a turtle, right? Okay, cool. I'm going to see if I can pry off. There's a couple extra that I missed. I'm going to see if I can pry off the sorcerer guy here. I'm just going to check and make sure he's not tacky. He's good enough to go. There we are. Cool. Can reuse that. And then this guy on here is the next kind of bane of my existence going on. Okay, yeah, no, you're just staying on there. Fine. Fine. Hey, what's going on? Hey. D and Disability in the house. I was talking about you earlier and your kind of academic crusade through European / Viking history. I was kind of talking about that earlier. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Keep going. I've been enjoying what I've seen. I'm not able to see all of it all the time, but, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Good to see you, though. Good to see you, though. Cohen, are you still in here? Cohen Dice? Calling a Cohen Dice? Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the hot glue gun and get the noisy spray booth going again. Do. Nice. It's not a sorcery, he's a magician. Yeah, right. Okay, cool. And now we can just turn this guy over yonder, over here maybe. I'm gonna back it up, see if that'll do anything for our kind of constant hard time. There we go. There we go. That's better. Better-ish. See, C, she says. Alright, cool. So, we got my airbrush here, and in the airbrush I've got the primer. So, you can pick these up online. I tend to use Pro Acryl primer. This is dark neutral gray. In your case, depending on if you want to go, you know, with like more vibrant colors, you can prime it in white. If you want it to go more dark and stormy and like kind of more grim dark look to it, you can prime in black and work your way up, especially if you have an airbrush. Gray is a great place to start though, because what gray does is it allows us to easily work our way to white or all the way down to black, which can come in handy. And in your case, with the models that you've got, and I'm not, you know, when I started this, I wasn't sure exactly what color you were wanting to make these. This looks like an activity that requires an energy drink. For you, for sure. For me, a nice beer is usually nearby. But they have like rattle cans. They're called, like a lot of people call them rattle cans. It's spray paint style cans of miniature primer out there that you can use, so you don't need an airbrush. But with rattle cans, you can't use them after it's rained. I learned that the hard way. You can't use them 24 hours after it's rained, and then you also with those, you know, you're not going to try and do that when it's winter either. So a lot of people will tend to take their minis and like spray them in the summertime and just spray a ton of them, and they'll have like kind of a backlog, so to speak, that they save up for in the wintertime that they can just paint. For me, and how I, you know, how I'm doing it right now with the airbrush, this is one way that you can do it that doesn't require there to be, you know, you're indoors and everything's very controlled. Also, you get a little bit more control too out of an airbrush versus the rattle can, which is debatable. There's people in here that will definitely debate me on whether or not rattle can will give you the same quality as an airbrush. But me personally, I think it just, you know, it does give me a little bit more control, just in my experience. So, but what we're doing here is we're putting down a layer of primer, and primer is just it's kind of like a paint. It sticks onto the plastic far easier than just standard acrylic paint, which will just kind of come right off. And this allows you to build a skin on the model in which you can put the paint over it, and it's a bit porous. It's a bit, you know, kind of rough on a molecular scale, because we're talking about, you know, this is really small work that we're doing. But it's got, you know, it leaves the surface a little bit porous and prepped for further painting with like acrylic paint. And we'll get into a ton of that tomorrow. You'll learn all sorts of cool stuff about that. Oh, did I miss Road March on the way out? What happens when it rains? So like when it comes out of the rattle can, especially white, for some reason, there's so much moisture in the air that it doesn't bond to the mini correctly, or it won't bond to plastic, I suppose, correctly. And this was something that I actually had to go. I had to go and apologize to Brian over at Weird World War II. I had primed one of his like player plates too early after it rained, and it wasn't until way later that I found out that the primer had just, like, it was so easy to scrape off. Like, I would touch it and like the primer would come off and the paint job would come off too, and it just did not come out right, and I had to send a little apology to him about that. But my lesson was learned on that front. So just if it is just rained the day before, don't spray primer. Wait until you've got a little less humidity in the air, and there's not as much water in the atmosphere. A well-ventilated paint booth and a big cardboard box can let you use a rattle can inside. Yeah, for sure, for sure. You could do that. Spray it out a window, too. So yeah, anyways, that's kind of what we're doing tonight, is getting these models a layer of primer so that when we go and paint them tomorrow, our paint will stick to this plastic. Well, this is actually resin, but it's the same concept. Another thing too is with some of these 3D printed models too, and I haven't really verified this. It's kind of, you know, take this with a grain of salt. I'm sure maybe some other people might know in here, but like, I think there are some rattle can varieties in which if you were to try and prime a resin-based model like this, that there is something in the accelerant, not, is it accelerant? Whatever thing in there that pushes the product out, that will cause these to melt or deform. So maybe, I don't know if anybody in the chat has some experience with that, but if you know, let us know. That'd be super handy. But I've heard that can be the case. So I've never had it happen because, well, I do all my priming with an airbrush, so. Used to use the rattle cans in an improvised booth in the basement, but that was the 90s, and lead figures. Yeah, lead figures. Propellant, thank you. Thank you, Thayan. That was the word I was looking for. Yeah, lead figures. I believe I have the old school dragon that I have is made out of lead, and I have decided to hold off on that project until I can research further on the safe handling of lead models. Because yeah, nobody wants lead in their giblets. Be like if it was made out of asbestos or something, you know? I mean, it's not that, it's lead, but like, you know, I wouldn't necessarily want all that going on. It's like some kind of gemmed artificer person going on here. All right, hey, thank you very much there, Laz. Good to see you as always, my friend. Enjoy your Eldar dinosaurs and whatnot. I'll check in with you if I can, when I can. Keep doing the good painting out there, my friend, and I'll see you soon. Dan's not had an issue, but I have had an issue with Mod Podge not setting. Gotcha. Yeah, I suppose. I think, you know, just dealing with lead in general, it'd probably be good to just follow some safety guidelines, you know, like, if you're gonna mess with the, you know, well, not mess. If you're gonna, you know, pick up and handle a firearm, you should probably know some basic firearm safety, right? You know, anything that could probably harm you, you probably want to know a thing or two about it before you start messing with it. That's my thought on the thing. So I'm just gonna take the time to figure it out and go from there. But I just haven't had the time to do that yet. So we'll see what happens when that project rolls around. I'm just checking here under the super blue lights to see if I missed any spots on this model. Looks like we're good to go. Let's do oh, I'll have to fix you later. Alright. Let's do Master Oogway here. The goal with putting primer on your model is to put as little primer on it as possible, and like the same thing goes for paints. So like you kind of want to thin your paints down and, you know, paint it a certain way, because like models, especially the more expensive ones, the whole deal with that is you're paying for the detail. So why would you want to cover up the sculpted details of the model with thick layers of paint? You know, and then lose all that beauty that you paid for with that. So if you're doing rattle can, you know, 6 to 10 inches away from the model, something like that, depending on how conditions are, and try and paint it with, you know, calmer conditions. You know, you don't want it to be super windy or whatever, trying to catch the paint downstream. And then, you know, quick little bursts and just reassess as you're going along and doing it. So that, you know, you don't build up a huge thick layer of primer on there and cover up all that, you know, cool stuff that's part of the sculpt. That's kind of the goal, at least in my mind. That's the goal in my mind, is kind of, you know, preserve as much detail as possible, put down as little product as you can. I do a couple of passes with the primer, but again, I'm spraying this out of an airbrush, so I've got a lot of control over how much primer I'm putting down. For the most part, the model, it doesn't really look wet when I'm, you know, after I'm done with it. It should dry very fast, is the idea, in between like coats that I'm putting down. I'll put down maybe like 2 coats max. There's some parts where I will end up spraying a bit more, but that's because I'm trying to push the paint with the air into certain cracks and crevices that I'm seeing require a bit more finesse, a little bit more handling. But yeah, usually it's a pretty quick process. It doesn't take too long. Kind of cool turtle warrior sculpt here. Nice. Lead internally, very bad. Nice thing. This guy's got like some kind of cannon or something that is blasted into the ground and is about to team rocket into another dimension here. Definitely some kind of artificer or something. Here we go. I'm painting off screen again. Gotta love it. So many little spiky bits. Spiky bits everywhere. Spiky bits here and there. Okay, I think those are pretty well coated. I suppose with this being a painting show, I should probably start yakking again. If I could form a cohesive train of thought. Oh, by the way, yeah, primer. Primer, you're going to want to have it set for 24 hours, or at least, you know, in my experience, it's probably good. Like in the wintertime, when there's a lot less moisture in the air, you can get away with, you know, 12 hours and be at a perfectly paintable level of cured on your Mini. But usually the rule of thumb is let it sit for 24 hours and really harden up. There's some acrylic in there too, I think, as a binder. So, you know, give it a chance to set before you go trying to paint it. Otherwise, what you'll end up finding is that your paint will carry some moisture with it, and it'll slough the primer right off, and you'll lose both your paint job and the primer, and you'll have to go back and prime it again. Oh, yeah. The, you like the medicine bottles. Yeah. I would recommend those, for sure. You can fill them up, yeah, like you said, with sand or something. Those are good. The high-tech pop can, too, yep. Pop can, beer cans. It's you can use anything you want. Hey, good to see you, Grumpy Old Slan. Thank you again for stopping by. It's good to see you. Good to see you. I hope your day goes easy tomorrow. Whatever you got going on, that's gonna be long. I hope it's a relatively easy day for you. Take care, okay? Man, we got a whole bunch of friends in here. This is so fun. Seeing everybody. This is great. This is great. We got some kind of like sun thing going on over here. I'm not sure what's going on with her. She's holding something. I think it's like a spell or some light or something. I'm not sure. What can a blind dude like me do to see the details when I paint? I often can't tell details apart in high detailed minis. So I've given up on them some days. That's a really tough one, Thayan. I feel like, sometimes, especially with like character minis, like the ones that we've got here, there's details on here that the printer can print, but I am going to have a hard time painting. You know, I'm not going to be able to take and pick out every tiny little detail, and that's okay. My biggest piece of advice would be to try and find the things on the model that like would naturally draw your eye, and things that like make sense. So, you know, this person here, if my camera could focus, which I really wish it could. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but it's struggling and it's giving me a headache. Oh, there we go. So this mini in particular, she's got something going on with her hand here. And I don't know what it is, if it's a spell or something, but like it really draws your eye to this part of the mini. She's holding like a mace, and she's got like a big kind of dress on. It doesn't look like a two-piece deal, but if you generally were to paint those things and kind of make it look cohesive, or you know, look like it all is meant to be together, the smaller details, you know, they don't really quite matter as much, especially with somebody that's got, you know, you've got kind of the visual impairment part, which is something that's got to be a little bit tough to work around too. But you know, just pick out things, blocks of color, and things that just look right together. Like the mace is probably a silver item, so paint the whole mace silver. And if you can't, you know, visually you can't pick out where the top of the mace starts and where the bottom is, like, that's okay. As long as the whole thing's silver, it's going to have a little bit of color continuity to it. And then just paint her hand around it you know, to signify she's holding it, and you're good. You're good. Like, I mean, I think for you that's like that would be the biggest thing. Is just a little bit of color continuity in the things that make sense. The big parts of the model, you know, her dress. If you're gonna make her dress, you know, make her dress all one color. It looks to me here, I don't think they really did a great job, but it looks like she might be wearing a little bit of like a chest armor or something. I wouldn't even mess with it. I would just call it all one big dress and like screw it. All of it's getting one color, and then just do your best to make you know, give it a little bit of shadow with a, you know, if you're gonna paint it blue, maybe go with like a deep blue in the recesses and then a little bit of lighter blue in some other places. Give it a little like tone and variation on it, and you'll end up with some really nice models, and I think some minis you'll be really proud of. So that I guess is about as much as I can offer on that front currently. Hey, he's back. The minister's back. Yeah, I would kind of go with the minister and Lawrence from Dirty Basement too. Yeah, it's your stuff. You know, painting in my mind it's supposed to be an enjoyable thing, and if you're not having fun doing it for yourself, then you know, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? And I mean, like, if it's that kind of work for you, you know, make it to the point where you're, you know, if you want to try and push yourself, paint until it doesn't feel fun and then just stop. Right there is all you need, you know. If you need to paint it at all, you know, like if you're just there to game, and like the mini can be gray and you can still have a great time gaming, like you don't need to, you know, bust out some golden demon or Nova open style paint job to have fun and like know that your dude is such and such color. Like, yeah, just have fun with it. That's the biggest thing. I paint to the point where I have fun, but I have a lot of fun painting and you know, pushing and challenging myself. That's not true with necessarily with everybody. You know, some people just want to get a tabletop ready model and have you know, a few colors on it, and like that's cool. You know, nice job. A lot of people don't paint at all. Now that I have new glasses, I might start again on some of my Battletech minis. You should! Battletech is dope. I love Battletech minis. I, however, do not play Battletech because the game is, I have yet to totally understand it, and B, it takes quite a long time to play. But I love the minis. Big stompy robots, 100% yes from a Billboy. So, love me some big stompy robots. Who doesn't love big stompy robots? I love big stompy robots. I love them, and I love like weird creatures like this hammerhead shark with a gun. Like, this is cool. Like, it's so outlandish and weird. Give me more sharks with guns. Like, what's more terrifying than a shark? A shark with a gun. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think after this guy, we're going to take just a quick second. Take a break, read the chat, catch up for a sec, regroup a little bit, and then probably go on to the next one. I'm just going to make sure I'm not missing any bits on this guy. Shark with a gun. This takes baby shark to a whole new level. Like, daddy shark ain't playing when you take his daughter out for prom. Daddy shark be packing. Okay, cool. Alright, yeah, I need to give me Thingy a break. Pressing that trigger down is... I got a little bit of shenanigans going on there. I just kind of want to take a sec. Alright, well, take care, Rabovsky. Good to see you. I hope to see you around again. Good luck on the moving stuff. Or was that Road March? Road March was moving. Sorry, my bad. Anywho, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Take care. We'll see you again real soon. Tell you a funny thing about the Hammerhead Bro tomorrow. Looking forward to it, cuz. Looking forward to it. Oh, Morkborg's got a new Battletech system? And I'm just now hearing about this? What? Okay, okay. Oh, so Dungeon Minister, tomorrow it's gonna be basing and airbrush. You know what? We're gonna do both. We're gonna do both. Is what's happening. We're gonna do basic brush so that Cohen Dice over here, Cohen Games can take and you know, be able to know how to use brushes across models, and then in order to kind of get some of these painted for her to use in games and stuff, we're gonna probably blow through a bunch of them with an airbrush. You know, just like the basing and stuff, but we're definitely gonna do the tutorial brush style. You know, do one of them just fully with a paintbrush, so that you can see all of the steps and everything involved without some of the more expensive equipment and stuff. So, yes, yes to both. To answer your question there, Dungeon Minister. Oh, Mechborg and Steel Psalm. Steel Psalm sounds like something that was like Trench Crusade. It sounds like something that would be in Trench Crusade. And Trench Crusade is cool because who doesn't love World War I? And the priests are like hardcore trench fighter veterans. Like, they're super cool. I kind of want to get my hands on some of those minis just because they look so dang sweet. All right, we have up next. We have ourselves a fun like little guy. This is I think this is maybe a dwarf or like looks like, kind of like a Scottish dude. I'm not 100% sure on what exactly this little man is, but he's obviously been in some kind of battle. Super cool. Diesel Punk. There you go. Yes. I'm just stretching out for a sec. I'm literally sitting on a pew. My mom got this pew from a church that was doing I think they were doing some kind of sale, and they had ripped out an old pew, and I refinished it. Actually, I think at some point here I'm going to have to probably get and refinish it again. But I refinished it. It looks super cool. But I'm sitting on a pew painting. I'm sending my prayers in paint. All right, moving on. I think we're back in the saddle here, so. A little product going through the brush here. There we are. A pew? Amen. Indeed. Oh, I had a little bit of shenanigans come out the tip here. There we go. Yeah, had a little tip dry on the needle. Yeah, definitely got some like Scottish vibes going on here with this guy. All right, well, take care. We'll see you tomorrow, Colin. I'm excited. Do you want me to bring you breakfast? Hey, before you leave, Cohen, you want me to bring you breakfast? You want something for breakfast before I come get you? Alright. I don't know. Maybe they left already, but... Or maybe she left already. I'll bring her something for breakfast. See what happens. A pew. How bullet head sneeze? Yeet. There you go. Well, thanks again for being here, everybody. I always enjoy the company at the paint desk or wherever I'm painting. It's just, you know, for me, painting, gaming, you know, if you're playing video games with your friends and stuff, you know, I enjoy those social things. It's very nice, especially, you know, the paint part of it for sure, because thing like this, you know, it's kind of a one-man job. But when I've gone to, you know, places like you know, your local game store or whatnot, and get to go paint in a group, that's always fun. Get to talk a little shop, nerd out a little bit, and just kind of catch up, see what everybody's doing, learn some new stuff. Like that Morkborg has their own like mech-based rule set, like that's dope, and whatnot. So. Yeah, thanks for being here, though. I appreciate everybody being here. Alright, so do we have any more guys that I missed? I'm just taking a quick check. I don't think we missed anybody. We have 4 more models to prime, and then we're totally done for the night. So I'm thinking it's only going to be... I don't know. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be going, but... Not very long. I just have to get these guys on their stands and we should be good to go. I'm going to turn this off. Welcome to Orange. Sponsored by the color orange. The light definitely looks a little orange in here. This 1 color cup's worth of primer is going to get through... Let's see here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, about 20 models worth in 1 color cup. Late night with PML on 95.9. There you go. I will be back in just a moment here. I'm just going to plug in the hot glue gun so we can get some hot goo. All right. And now we wait. Just gotta wait for the glue gun to heat up. We could probably dismount some of these guys. Who was kind of first on our list? I know this. I think maybe it was this barbarian dude, but we can like. I like these pill bottle caps because they're just pliable enough that you can like squish them a little bit, and your guy is able to just basically come off of there pretty easy. Yeah, it's gone, done. And then there's a little bit of hot glue under here. I'm just gonna scrape that off with my nail. You know, I'm gonna do that later. Forget that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Same thing kind of goes with the pop can. Well, not really, but you can kind of push on it in certain places, and sometimes you'll get it to pop. There we go. I think I only need, yeah, I only need like 4 things, because I only have 4 models left. I don't need to dismount all of them, I don't think. At least for now. Master Oogway. Oh, there we go. Got Master Oogway here, the turtle, Ninja Turtle thing going on. Alright, there's 1, 2, 3 things to use, and I don't know, Shark with a gun. There we go. We'll take Shark with the gun off his can stand. Alright. So we got our 4 little armatures to prime off of. How's everybody surviving winter? How's everybody surviving? How we doing? Minister, I've seen that your neck of the woods been getting hammered. Lots of snow going on up in Canada. All right. Let's see. I hope this is warm enough yet. Let's see. Oop. We're getting there. We're not quite there, but we're getting there. Oh. 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 All right. So we have some kind of like kobold. That's kind of cool. Little kobold guy. Put just a little bit of glue down, not a ton, and there goes our kobold. Done. We have a little mage with a book. No spells cast, but he's primed and ready. Ba-dum-bum-ch. And we have some evildoer guy with a super squiggly sword. Kind of reminds me of something. I don't know. He's just an evil looking dude. Better straighten your ways up, guy. You got a party of high school kids coming for you. Alright, so he's on there. And lastly, what is this? It's like a Viking dude. Got a Viking dude with javelins. Alright, take it easy there, Thayan. Keep up the good work over there on D and Disability. If you haven't seen D and Disabilities, it's a cool channel. Lots of fun academic stuff to add to your game. Some historical elements you might want to throw in there. You can learn it all over on D and Disability. Alright, lots of snow too. Nice. Nice. Alright. Alright. Now I'm gonna go switch the outlets again so that we can use the spray booth, and we'll be done. We just got 4 more models to do, and then yeah, I'll have a card again up after the show here. I haven't worked on a thumbnail or any. I really haven't had time to do any thumbnail junk, so like it's gonna be your standard PML card. But I'll have it up here so that you know when everything is happening in your local time for the beginners painting class coming up tomorrow. The one and only time I'm doing it for freezies. You can go ahead and learn everything you need to know with a brush, with an airbrush. We'll kind of go over it. Probably won't get into anything super advanced, but you'll learn the basics. You'll learn layering. You'll learn how to make shadows, and you know some of the simple tricks that are going to make you a nice painter on the tabletop. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great time. Really looking forward to it. So let me get the spray booth going again. That's going to be happening at probably like 10:30 to 11 o'clock ish a.m. Central Standard Time in the U.S. If you're interested, I'd love to see you there. Yeah, kind of interesting looking Viking guy here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with this one. It seems very Viking like inspired, but I'm not like 100% sure on that. It looks, I don't know. Interesting sculpt for sure though. Definitely looks like somebody you wouldn't want to start a bar fight with. Let's just put it that way. Not much more to go. I think this guy is pretty well done. There we go. On to the next, we got the big baddie with the... I don't even know what you are. You are just... Let's see if we can get a little primer on his face. What's going on here? He's like he's got no skin. He's not a skeleton, but he's just... Maybe he is a skeleton. There's skeletons on the base, or like skulls or something, but he's like... He's got no nose. Definitely doesn't have a nose. Kind of interesting deal going on with this guy. I don't know exactly what he is. White? Yeah. That sounds like the right category. Maybe put him in a white. Sounds about right. Yeah, because whites are kind of phantasmal or something like that, right? They're kind of ghosty. in their appearance or whatever. Kind of, they're not undead. Are they undead? I don't know. It's been too long since I've looked at that, but I mean, definitely feels like a white. Visually, seems that way. Like that would be the word to describe it. Yeah, he's got kind of a rib cage thing going on. Definitely halfway between dead and, well, halfway between alive and dead. It's kind of where this guy is hanging out. Cool beans. I think I missed the tip of his sword. There we go. We got our kobolds. Little kobold guy over here. He's got a bow and arrow too. I didn't even see that earlier. We are almost done. That was like 3 out of 4, I think. So one last one to do for tonight, and then probably break and head off. I want to write an adventure, Trouble at the White Castle. Haha, yes! There you go. You'd have to incorporate like a slider somewhere in there. Like, even if it isn't like an actual like cheeseburger or whatever, just the idea of a slider somewhere in there would be kind of hilarious as like a mission critical thing you got to do. Like maybe you got to use the slider to open a secret door, and it's like a legitimate like sliding handle or something. Like a little lever or something that's like a sliding lever. I think that would be pretty funny, if you ask me. This guy's got, yeah, he's like about to cast a spell or something. Definitely a magic user going on with this sculpt. Make sure I get upside down, inside out, living La Vida Loca with this guy. All of the angles. Alright, very nice. Very nice. Kind of cool. Kind of cool sculpt going on. Alright, and now we let these sit for basically overnight as long as I can. Oh, or slider, a nickname for a gelatinous cube. Okay, there you go. There you go. I like those ideas. Those are some sick ideas. A pit trap that opens to a slide, which takes you down to the lower levels. Very nice. I think either one of those would be kind of cool. So last part here, I'm just going to clean out my airbrush a little bit. For anybody that hasn't used an airbrush for priming, you're going to want to make sure you do a pretty thorough clean out, because most of the time the primer will end up like at a point where any little bit of Guga in here is going to be not your friend. It's going to clog up your airbrush. You can see already in there. I think it's maybe a little too dark. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see it on the rim here. If you look inside the color cup in here, there you go. Kind of where I'm pointing there. Down in there, you'll see that there's still a lot of this, and it's kind of flaky. These little flakes of paint will get stuck inside of your airbrush, and will cause it'll cause you to have more jams and whatnot. It's kind of a nightmare. So clean it while it's wet, so that way you don't have to deal with it when it's dry. I tend to I'll take my finger and just start scooping out the gunk. You can see it's like huge pieces that have started to already started to cure, I guess, on the metal of the airbrush, because you don't want to. You can prime plastics with this. You can prime metals with this. Do the whole 9 yards. Primer's your friend, though. And once I've gotten this, kind of clear, I'll go ahead and spray out whatever gobbets might be stuck in that little channel there that brings the paint all the way forward. I'm just gonna add a bit more water and just get a whole bunch of it going out there. Yep, there you go. There's a little bit at the end there, kind of coming off. A little extra water. See if we can get it all out. I probably am going to put a little bit of thinner through this too. Chopped in half by a barbarian, now slides along the floor on the viscous guts hanging from its torso. That sounds like a cool story. Not gonna lie, that's like a cool kind of backstory for a mob. I wonder if the characters or whatever could find a book. They stumble across a book, and it's like the journal of the wight that had gotten slain by the barbarian, and his transformation into a gelatinous cube is like documented in there. It's like his own journal. I think that would be kind of cool. You know what I mean? That way, like, the players could have that big epiphany moment. I'm just running some thinner through my airbrush here, and then I'll answer any questions that anybody in the chat might have before I head off for the night. So if you got them, put them in here. I'd love to read them, hear them, and give you some answers before I totally head out here. All right. Yeah, thanks again, everybody, for hanging out with me tonight, though. It's been a lot of fun getting to see everybody again. I missed the snot out of seeing everybody in the chat and like just hearing all the stories and what's going on with life. You get to make some good acquaintances here on YouTube, especially in the right circles, and it's really quality people come through here and like to chat. So thanks again for being here. I'm gonna turn the spray booth off. There we go. Get that noisy thing out of the way. Go ahead, turn this around. Sometime in the future, I hope to print more Paint Minis Live sweatshirts. I think that'd be kind of dope. Alright. That'd be pretty good. How's the family doing? Family's doing good. Just got done, had a dinner with them earlier. Everybody's doing fine, you know. Just staying warm, you know. Staying warm in the wintertime. My mom's gotten really into scrapbooking, and she's making these really cool like layouts and stuff for their like vacations and things. She's gotten really into that. And my dad's been working with his CNC machine. It's kind of his thing. He's gotten really into that. He's working on a project with all of the state sports teams on it, and then my mom's going in and like the machine cuts it out. Like, not, how do I describe it? It does like a relief of like the sports team's logo, and then my mom comes in and like paints the inside of it to the team colors and stuff. It's really cool. It's really cool. He's got some big talent there, so it's really cool to watch him make these projects and do those projects. Yeah. So everybody's doing good. I'm excited to be done with school and hopefully have my EMT at the end of it. It's been a long journey. It's kind of a tough one at times, but you know, it's good. It's a good tough, you know. But how about yours? How's the heroes of Honeywood doing, Dungeon Minister? I've my fingers are a little sore from holding the airbrush for 2 hours. Man, it was good to get all that done. I'm really excited again for tomorrow. I think it's gonna be great. Something they do as a couple, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we have a ton of different minis for tomorrow's lesson. I think it's gonna be a great time. Again, gonna go over everything from how to do it with the brush to how to speed it up with an airbrush. And honestly, that's kind of what I think the airbrush does best, is it just speeds stuff up. It's nothing, you know, you can't do with a brush. It just is quicker with an airbrush. That's all. But hey, you going to bed? All right. Have a good night, boss. Family's good. Fleetwood is teaching swim lessons now. Okay, cool. Very nice. Touchberry is all about coding. Man, you got some smart kids. They're going to go far. I tell you what. It was really nice to meet them at ClerkCon. That was a big highlight for me. Teaching swim lessons, though. Man, I remember doing that for Boy Scouts. Doing like the lifeguarding stuff too for Boy Scouts, and teaching people how to swim and things, or the kids how to swim. That was a good time. It was a really good time. I enjoy that kind of stuff. I like teaching people. That's a good time. And coding, that's beyond me, but I know there's people out there that can do crazy stuff with electronics, and good for Touchberry. Good for Touchberry. Well, say everybody, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm getting a little tired. I've got an early start tomorrow to get everything prepped and ready to go for tomorrow's big beginner lesson. Be on the lookout for the card that's going to show up in just a little bit here after the stream's over on the PML channel, so you know exactly what time in your own region that's all going down. And we'll talk to you then. So please take care. Have a good rest of your morning, noon, or night, and I'll talk to you again in the next one. All right. Bye, everybody.